Crisis averted. That was President Biden last night in the Oval Office. And this was him today behind the Resolute desk signing the bipartisan debt ceiling deal into law with 2 days to spare before the default deadline. The White House released this photo. The press corps was not present for the signing. The law is more than a victory that prevents an economic calamity. The Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2023 also makes good on the president's campaign promise, something that is rare in our current political climate. As David Ignatius writes in the Washington Post, quote, "The deeper point is that the budget agreement wasn't capitulation, but compromise. Biden got the essence of what he wanted, which was an extension of the debt limit without savage cuts to domestic spending. As for the GOP hostage takers, it's true and outrageous that they were holding a gun to the nation's head. But as the FBI will tell you, in a hostage situation, someone needs to negotiate with the crazies and keep talking until they agree to put down the gun." With us now, Tyler Pager, White House reporter for the Washington Post, and Akayla Gardner, White House correspondent for Bloomberg. It is good to see you both. Akayla, let's get into the timing of this deal and Biden's speech last night. You write for Bloomberg today, quote, "President Joe Biden is seizing on the debt limit deal he negotiated as an opening argument for re-election, though he faces a tough sell with voters who are skeptical of his performance in office. Recent polls show Biden's approval has been down. Talk to me. Is the argument here about competence? Is the argument here, Akayla, about compromise? What is it exactly that Biden begins to sell coming out of this?
I don't think anyone really considers this debt limit bill an outright victory for Biden or for Republicans, for that matter. It does very little to advance their key priorities. But the bigger picture here is Biden is able to paint himself as a unifier. He's able to say that he is someone who can reach across the aisle if and when it's necessary to do so. And that's exactly the message that we saw him deliver in his address. It was his opening and closing message, and that is politically popular. If you ask pollsters, voters want to see lawmakers work together more on issues that matter to them. And Biden has done this multiple times with the CHIPS bill, with infrastructure, with gun reform. So this is just another piece of evidence for him to push on the campaign trail. But that being said, there's still some weaknesses that he's leaving this debt limit fight with. And that is certainly angering people on the left wing of his party, particularly the Progressive Caucus and people like Elizabeth Warren, Congressman Ro Khan, both of which were on Biden's campaign advisory board and voted no. And also with climate change activists who are not happy with some of the changes to energy permitting. And climate change is still a huge issue for young voters who have been super influential in the past two elections for Democrats.